What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the BenchWire podcast. If you guys enjoy the podcast, please consider subscribing. It's free to do so, and it helps us get discovered. So without further ado, we're just going to get right into Week 12. We had the Thanksgiving games. The Bills ended up beating the Lions 28-25. The game went down to the wire. I think there was a time where we thought the Lions could pull it off. But yeah, I mean, guys like Isaiah McKenzie for the Bills, he showed up, showed his explosiveness. He has 6 receptions, 96 yards, and a touchdown. And then Josh Allen continues to lead the Bills in rushing, which is not sustainable.
Yeah.
And guys like Singletary and Nyheim Hines and all them, they need to get Hines involved. And then for Singletary, he's got to start doing something different because Josh Allen can't have more yards than you. That's just unacceptable.
I think they need an offensive line to block for those guys. They have a decent offensive line. It's nothing special, though. Can you agree with that?
I can agree.
Okay.
Josh Allen, listen, this stat line of 24, 42, 253, 3 touchdowns, 1 int, it doesn't scream that he's struggling, but I think if you watch the game, you see there are passes where it just seems like, again, like we mentioned last week, he's lost a little bit of confidence from all the interceptions and then the loss to the Jets and all of that. And then you obviously don't know if that shoulder is hurting him. So altogether, the Bills are, I don't know, they got to get back on track and start looking like that dominant team that we saw beat the Rams in Week 1. The fully healthy Rams in Week 1.
Yeah, the fully healthy Rams.
Jared Goff, shout out to him.
He's been playing well the last few weeks.
Yeah, 23 of 37, which, I mean, obviously when I say that, it doesn't sound amazing because there was obviously some stuff left on the table. But he had 240 yards and then 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Jamal Williams has taken over the running back 1 role from DeAndre Swift. He leads the league now with 13 rushing touchdowns, which I believe is more than all of his previous seasons combined.
Yeah, he's insane this year.
Yeah. Amon-Ra St. Brown kind of found his stride again. We've been looking for it.
Yeah.
He's kind of I'm not gonna say he's fallen off, but he's dealt with some injuries and he has
gotten opportunities for it.
Yeah, he had 9 receptions, 122 yards, and a touchdown. And then that moves us on to this game, which I know you
Game of the week.
Cowboys beat the Giants 28-20. The game was kind of close. Didn't really feel like it at times.
It was close in the first half.
Yeah, the Cowboys, they pulled away at the end. Saquon Barkley continues to struggle despite getting a touchdown. The Giants' lack of receivers is beginning to affect the run game.
And
that was bound to happen.
Lack of offensive line as well.
Yeah. But
4 starters were out.
Yeah.
So that plays a big factor into, running the football.
Mm-hmm. But regardless, Saquon's a guy who should be explosive enough to get something going. That's kind of why you pay a running back is like, even if things are bad, you still got to find some sort of stride there. And obviously with no receivers, the team's to stack the box, play man, and it's kind of how you beat the Giants now. So this could be the beginning of a disaster. It's very possible. I know you as a Giants fan would probably say, well,
season starts now.
It does.
We got some divisional games coming up, and you got the Vikings and Colts to finish the season. Toughest schedule to finish out the season.
Yep. So when Odell visits today,
we're going to have to
beg him.
Make him stay here.
Yep.
Lock the door.
Yeah. Shout out Daniel Jones. Continues to play well despite having literally no receivers. 21 of 35, 228, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Zeke did his thing against an NFC East opponent.
He always does
as per usual. Yeah, 16 carries, 92 yards, and a touchdown.
And our D-line was healthy. So that's an issue.
CeeDee Lamb, unfortunately for you guys, decided to turn back the clock and play like he did at Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah. We had nobodies playing at corner.
Yeah, so 6 receptions, 106 yards. Michael Gallup, he's finally finding his spot back in the offense. Then my last note is just that Kayvon gets held a lot.
He does get held a lot.
I swear, whenever I watch him.
He is so close to getting so many sacks. He could have had 3 that game easily.
I feel like he doesn't complain enough.
Well, yeah.
He kind of just, moves on to the next play. Dude, you're getting held. Say something.
I know.
Say, yo, can you, start watching them? 'Cause,
he hasn't earned that respect yet, I guess, from the officials.
Yeah, I mean, it is
He's
what it is.
there.
But, I've seen a lot of comments of people saying that he was a bust. But, A, way too early. B, I feel like he does his job. He just, I don't know. He's going to be a top.
He's been good in the run game.
In my
give him time. Takes time to develop.
Yeah, so Vikings, they beat the Patriots 33-26. It was the best Thanksgiving game in my opinion.
I didn't watch it.
Mac Jones arguably had the best game of his young career. 28 of 39, 382 yards and 2 touchdowns. Patriots, they need to go ahead and get Mac Jones a legitimate number 1 receiver in this next draft.
Now, question. Is Mac Jones better than Bailey Zappi now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Listen, I bought the hype, okay?
Oh, I'm not buying that hype.
This is why people on TV do this kind of thing.
Yeah, okay,
It gets views.
It does get views.
Jonathan Jones continues to dominate as he picks off Kirk Cousins. But he also guarded Justin Jefferson, and guess who had a good game?
Justin Jefferson.
So he finally did something, like we asked him to, against a good corner. Now, I would like him to go, do it against, like, Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, like that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But Jonathan Jones
Still
is a
young.
good start.
Still
Jonathan
young.
Jones, I like him. He's like, you gotta get...
Broncos.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that.
Sorry, something came up on the TV about Russell
Yeah.
Wilson in Broncos country.
Yeah.
But
We'll talk about them later.
Yeah, Jefferson, 9 receptions, 139 yards, and a touchdown. TJ Hawkinson, he found the end zone as he continues to work his way into the Vikings offense. Kind of going to be, a slow start for him as in his Vikings career. They're an offense that doesn't really use the tight end much. That's why you have seen, Irv Smith not really do much either when he was healthy.
They'll get him involved.
Yeah, and then shout
Give him
out Kirk
time.
Cousins because he showed up in a primetime game.
I don't think that counts, though. It's Thanksgiving. I want to see him do a
Regardless, though-
primetime game that's not on a holiday.
Regardless, 30 of 37,
He looked good, though. He
299
looked good.
yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. And it was Jonathan Jones. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Dolphins, they beat the Texans 30-15. Dolphins, they continue to win.
They
They're
benched their
scary.
starters, third quarter?
Yeah, they're stacked. They need to get talked about more for being an extremely stacked roster. Like every position, they have a good player.
Now, are they the 2nd seed or the 3rd seed right now? Because I
Wait.
know they're above the Bills because they beat them and they've been winning. I'm pretty sure. Dolphins
They
have
should be the
looked good.
second behind the Chiefs.
Yeah, they're the
okay.
2nd seed. They're 8-3, first in the division. So.
Undefeated with Tua.
Yeah, Tua's been that guy.
But it also
Major-
needs to be said that the Dolphins, other than the Bills, that one Bills game, they've also had a relatively easy schedule. So if we're going to use that for
Yeah.
the Vikings, the Eagles, even the 49ers, because of how bad their division's been, I can't leave the Dolphins out of that.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
also had a pretty easy schedule. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bengals. They beat the Titans 20-16. T. Higgins, he looked good. Kind of found his stride again as well. Been saying that a lot for some guys. 7 receptions, 114 yards, and a touchdown. Derrick Henry led the Titans in receiving. That's usually not a good sign when your running back does that, unless you have a guy like CMC, Kamara, Eckler, that type of thing. So, Titans, they need to find something with their passing offense. Kind of
Traylon Burks was decent. He was decent.
He had 70 yards, but
He recovered a touchdown.
he did.
That
he did.
Derrick Henry fumbled.
Yeah, Derrick Henry.
What we doing, Derrick?
Man. But yeah, not really much to talk about there. It was a good game, but it wasn't anything too crazy. Broncos, they lost to the Panthers 23-10.
I predicted that. Sam Darnold looked pretty good.
Yeah, Russell Wilson, 19 of 35, 142 and a touchdown. He continues to just be extremely underwhelming. He had one of the defensive players, I believe he was a defensive tackle, go up to him and scream at him in the face.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
What's his name? Purcell, I think. The D
Yeah, so Wilson said after the game, it's no hard feelings. Everyone's on the same page. They got to start doing they got to wake up.
I think it's the lack of talent on the offense. Like Jerry Jeudy hasn't been healthy, and then your running game. You've been through how many running backs this season? That doesn't help.
I think it also. I mean,
and Nathaniel Hackett's
then-
offensive scheme doesn't mesh with Russell Wilson. I think they need to move off of him.
yeah, and then obviously Russ isn't playing good enough either.
Oh yeah.
When you're paid that money, you make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's just what it is. Russ is too good of a quarterback to be having the excuse of not having enough weapons because he has more weapons than Aaron Rodgers.
I guess, yeah.
So, yeah. Unfortunately for the Broncos, they are now 3-8. So
Let's ride for 4th place.
yeah.
I predicted.
Mike White and the Jets beat down on the Bears 31-10.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike White looked pretty dang good.
The Bears. The
Yeah,
Jets.
he was 22 of 28, 315 yards, 3 touchdowns.
You think he starts this week?
Yeah.
I think he's
you
earned
just
the right.
You got to play with the hot hand, but the moment he falls off, you go right back to Zach.
What about Joe?
No.
What about Joe?
No.
Joe was winning games.
I've been one of those guys that, I've said this once, I'll say it again. Zach Wilson is your quarterback, whether you like it or not. You took him second overall. You don't drop off of him like this. You continue to give him a chance. The fact is, the team needed a spark. And guys like Elijah Moore needed to get some consistency, get the ball in their hands. So when Zach finally targets you, you don't drop it. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of like, restarting it, giving Zach some time to look at the film and try to really learn what he's done wrong. Zach also needs to take this time to grow up. And I know the media is always going to be rough, but his answer of saying he didn't let the defense down when they allowed, 10 points?
Yeah, something
but it was a kickoff return try. Unacceptable.
Yeah.
Unacceptable. They gave you every chance to win that game.
Especially in that New York market.
Yeah. Going here to Mike White, he's one of the only quarterbacks in NFL history to start multiple games with 300 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and a 75% completion.
You know who else did that? Kurt Warner.
Yeah, it's insane.
That is insane.
So, good for Mike White, man.
Yeah.
But
it's a good story.
For Jets fans, I'm just gonna say, slow down. All right, Mike White. I hate to be that guy. Not a franchise quarterback. You can argue he's a good backup.
Yo, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a great backup.
But he's not your franchise quarterback. You will not, go forward saying, this is my guy.
And he did play the Bears. So.
He did play the Bears, and they lost Eddie Jackson in the middle of the game.
Yeah, so calm down there.
Yeah, so, yeah. Garrett Wilson, though, 5 receptions, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's looked really good.
Elijah Moore got a touchdown. He had 64 yards. For the Bears, Chase Claypool, 2 receptions, 51 yards.
Watch out.
They got him involved the one time Justin Fields doesn't play. But, yeah, that's really all there is to talk about that game. Falcons, Commanders, again, another game we're not going to talk much about. Kendall Fuller, game-winning interception. It was a deflected pass. Unfortunately for the Falcons, it dropped right into Kendall Fuller's hands.
Yeah, why throw the ball in that situation?
Yeah, you really shouldn't have.
You got some decent running backs in Patterson and Aguilar, so I don't know
Yeah, but they kind of did listen, I'm not a football player. I don't know what the route is called, okay?
Okay.
But they...
Explain the route. I can help you out.
It was a V. It was a sideways V is what they did with Cordell Patterson.
Like a post?
So they had him come out of the end zone or come out of the backfield and then kind of slant to the middle.
So a slant post.
Is that what that would be?
I guess.
Something like that.
The way you're describing it and drawing on the table, I think it's a slant post.
Okay. So let's say he did that.
Yeah.
And it was open. But unfortunately, defender's hands got on the ball and it dropped right into Kendall Fuller's hands. Commanders, they advanced to 7-5, and they scared the heck out of the Giants right now.
I am worried about that game this week, but we'll talk about that later.
But you know what? Thankfully for you guys get to decide your fate with them.
Yes.
Which is all you can ask for, really, right?
Mm-hmm. Hopefully some players come back healthy, but we'll talk about it later.
Browns, they beat the Bucs 23-17. Deshaun Watson
will
be finally going to come back after his long absence.
Yes, 2-year absence.
Yeah. Again, for some of these last games, listen, we're not just going to recap every game. That's not what makes the podcast fun. So we're just going to kind of skim through these last few ones. We want to, for the people that didn't watch NFL on Sunday, want to help them out.
Yeah.
Ravens and Jags, probably one of the better games of the year. Went right down to the line. Zay Jones had a great game. You called him washed, or not washed. You just said he wasn't good.
He had a decent game, but the Ravens, they haven't looked great at the end of games.
Zay Jones, 11 receptions on 14 targets for 145 yards and a 2-point conversion
that's the
to win the
Ravens'
game.
pass defense right there.
Yeah, that's not true.
That is so true. That's been his only game of the year.
Ravens didn't have Kyle Hamilton. I think I just broke my phone. But yeah, Lamar, get him some weapons, please.
Yeah, you can't win games with no weapons.
It's one of
when
those
Deshaun
where for the
Jackson's
Ravens,
catching a pass that helps you score some points at the end of the game is sad.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. Aaron Rodgers has better weapons than
He
Lamar
does.
has.
Christian Watson has
and for Lamar to play at the way
games.
he has, pay him. Because I can only imagine if he has a weapon.
I know.
I mean, I want them to get the Josh Downs kid from University of North Carolina.
I don't know who that is, but
I know you
I
don't.
will learn of these players.
You will learn.
Mock drafts coming soon.
Yeah. I'll actually, after this, I'll do a mock draft and I'll show you.
Ooh.
So you can understand some stuff.
Fancy.
Yeah. Raiders, they beat the Seahawks 40-34. Really good game.
Josh Jacobs was insane.
Yeah. Darryl Taylor, I believe that's his name, decided to come on the field and become a run blocker, be the 12th man. They took that a little too seriously.
Yeah, I saw that.
Josh Jacobs, man. I mean, talk about a guy that's taken a contract year personal.
Oh, yeah. He leads the league in rushing now after that
Yeah,
game.
he had 229 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and then he also had 6 receptions for 74 yards.
Over 300 yards a day. That's
Which
insane.
is more than some of the NFL offenses that day.
Yeah.
This past Sunday. Chargers, they beat the Cardinals 25-24. They went for the 2-point conversion to win at the end. A ballsy move. From
Ballsy
the coach that's
move.
very bad.
But it got him the win, and
It did.
it looks good.
Yeah, Keenan
Looks
Allen
good.
finally got involved.
Yeah.
Good for him. Austin Eckler continues to do his thing.
Kyler Murray still hasn't won a game since Call of Duty has been
He
released.
hasn't. They are actually, I believe I have a stat here.
Ooh, I like
The
stats.
Cardinals are 1-10 at home since the start of last November.
That is bad. I remember they started
However,
out hot
I am gonna,
last
you know
year,
what?
too.
I'm gonna shout out Kyler though. 247 total yards and 3 total touchdowns.
Not
He
enough
gave
to
him a
win.
chance. He gave him a chance.
He gave him a chance.
Yeah, but
Defense has to be better.
they do. Saints, they lose to the 49ers. Can't score some points. That defense has been absolutely
They are for real, man.
elite. Again, another thing I got a stat for
I
you.
like stats.
I know you like stats.
Stats are good.
They are. The 49ers haven't allowed any second half points since week 8.
That is insane. That is probably the best defense in the league, I would say.
Yup.
They're up there, at least.
Yup. And, yeah, just absolutely mind-boggling.
Yes.
So, Chiefs beat the Rams. Travis Kelce said on his podcast, shout out New Heights.
New heights, baby.
Although they won 26-10, Chiefs, he said they need to be better. I didn't get to watch the game, but I'm going to take his word because he played for them. Pretty much said that they had some opportunities to score more. They didn't. For a team that is as good as the Rams in the red zone, they've been a really good red zone team. He kind of said the Chiefs, though, they got too much talent not to figure that out. So, was a little upset with the performance, even though they beat them. But he also understands that Bryce Perkins was starting at quarterback, so, you never know. And yeah, moving on to a game that we will talk a little bit about because it was pretty interesting. Eagles,
The Birds.
They eat.
They eat the Packers.
They beat the Packers. They send the Packers packing, 40-33.
That was too close of a game, though.
It was. The Eagles defense, Jonathan Gannon, they got to make better adjustments. It's probably, we're 10 weeks in, or, technically 12 weeks in, but I've said this 12 weeks in a row. Gannon, make adjustments,
Make
please.
adjustments.
He kind of just lets it ride, and you can't do that. Jalen Hurts, in my opinion, I know that Mahomes has done what he has done, but I think in terms of absolutely, carrying your team,
Yeah.
people can say all they want about who we have on this team. These last few weeks, it's been all Hurts carrying people. Yeah, we have all the talent in the world, but they have been underperforming, and Hurts has been the guy that's been,
Yeah.
raising the bar. Hurts is the first player since at least 1950 with 150-plus rushing yards and 150-plus passing yards and multiple passing touchdowns in the same game. That is dominance.
He's been good.
Dominance. Even Lamar doesn't run for 150 like that. It was just insane. The entire first drive was just Hurts running down the field. Kelce said on his podcast that for the first time this season, he has truly seen Hurts out of breath
Yeah.
from carrying so hard.
That offensive line's been really good. Miles Sanders also.
They have.
I think he had one of his career days. It wasn't
He
the
did.
career day, right?
Yeah, so 21 carries, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he looked good.
I'm going to take this out of the podcast or at least blur it, but I did see that there's a TikTok. Miles Sanders hooked up with somebody before the game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, got some,
Had some action?
had some action and Well, he should do that before every game now.
Oh, my God.
But I just find it funny that stuff ends up finding its way to TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, okay, dude, you don't have to share that kind of information with us.
Receiving
Ray Blankenship.
Yeah.
Our rookie safety out of Middle Tennessee, I believe. Undrafted. Got a pick off of Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
What a way to start your career. Yeah.
Darius Slay could have had a pick.
He could have.
He dropped it. He wanted to get the pick.
He did.
I heard from his podcast, whatever he was doing. But receiving game could have been a little bit better.
It could have, but I guess when you're gonna run for over 200 or like close to 300 yards, you just keep doing it because you end up running down the clock.
We gotta talk about his fumble issues.
AJ Brown, if you're listening to this, stop fumbling. I saw you say post game. Listen, I know that you were sick. I know that you had a
no excuse
bursted blood vessel in your eye
that
made it all red. I know that you just you said stamina wasn't where it was supposed to be because of being ill. I get it.
Yeah.
Fact is, if you know that that's the issue, don't fight for extra yards.
Exactly.
Like, just go down.
Get down.
And I know that he said after the 2 fumbles that he's not going to change how he plays. And you know what? I understand that because that's what got him paid.
Yeah.
Because he's so good after the catch.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to understand, like, when you're running at 5 defenders, you're not getting past them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, these
I know
are
you're
grown
a big
men.
boy, but, like...
You're not that big.
You're not that big.
Yeah. And then I just wanted to say, Adrian Amos, Penn State legend, shame on you for going at Lane Johnson's knee on a tackle. If this was MetLife, that could have been career-ending.
It wasn't big career-ending.
No. The way that it was?
No. I've seen worse.
It would have went, like, his knee would have been pointing backwards.
It's all right. I see Nick
that would have shattered his kneecap. Maybe not career-ending, but that was an exaggeration.
Yes.
But at least the rest of this season into next season. Like,
he would have been out for
all
a season.
because you're upset that you guys are getting beat. Okay.
Yeah.
So none of that. And then quickly another shout out, Jordan Love. He played really good.
Very good to see him in action.
Yeah, 6 of 9, 113 yards, 1 touchdown to Christian Watson.
Watson has been playing out of his mind the last few weeks. I think he has 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had 4 receptions, 110 yards, and a tutty. Aaron Rodgers said post game, he feels like an older brother watching him do well.
That's wholesome, right there.
That is wholesome. Because I know that Aaron Rodgers, people say that he's not letting Jordan Love do his thing. I've been the type to say that Jordan Love has a good future.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's just something about Aaron Rodgers taking him in that should be talked about because Aaron Rodgers on draft night wasn't happy with that decision.
Yeah.
But
he's been more
look at what he's done with
it.
him.
Yeah.
So shout out A-Rod.
Yeah.
Lastly, Steelers, they beat the Colts on Monday night 24-17. George Pickens looks good. Kenny Pickett looks good. The Colts, you're done for.
They're done for.
They're done for this season.
I think the Steelers are done for too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah, that recaps the games.
Yeah, I guess that recaps that game.
Well, no, that just recaps all the games.
Okay.
We'll just quickly, because we didn't get to go through every single game. Shout out Chris Godwin, 12 receptions, 110 yards and a touchdown. Let's see what else we got here. Miami's defense, 5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. A fumble recovery, 2 interceptions, and a touchdown.
Yeah, that's pretty easy to do against those Texans.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Now we can just quickly skim over some of the injuries that have gone on. Elijah Mitchell.
Rip
him 6 to 8 weeks with an MCL injury.
He was coming off another injury, and he was actually performing well, and then got hurt again, which sucks.
Tristan Wirfs, expected to miss 3 to 4 weeks with an ankle injury.
That's rough, because the Bucs need him desperately, and they haven't been winning.
Eddie Jackson, you've probably heard this injury. We said it a few times now. He's suffered a significant Lisfranc Frank injury.
That is bad news for the Bears.
Michael Carter, he has an ankle sprain. Jets aren't sure the severity, but this is why you got James Robinson. Darnell Mooney,
I think Robinson was a healthy scratch
injury
last week. He was a healthy scratch last week, Robinson. I don't know why.
I know he hasn't played well, but
yeah.
Allen Robinson done for the year with a foot fracture. Some good news for the Eagles. Jordan Davis, Dallas Goedert, both making returns from injury. I believe Jordan Davis was just taken off of the IR.
Ooh.
And so he has his 21-day return window.
Yeah.
And they said that there is a good chance he plays against the Titans this weekend. and that he has recovered very quickly for a big man.
Yeah, and then another rookie coming back this week, Evan Neal for the Giants.
Neal.
We need him against the Commanders, so that will be crucial for us.
Yep, Aaron Donald, he's been ruled out for Week 13, so the Rams have quite literally lost everybody. Deshaun Watson, he is back. He will be able to play this next game against the Texans.
Yep.
And I believe that's all the injury news we got. We do have a signing. We're not really signing.
A claim.
The Seahawks, they have claimed Jonathan Abram off waivers. Why not? You don't got Jamal Adams for the rest of the year. He suffered a season-ending injury in Week 2. So you bring in just another big hitter. He hasn't played too well, which is obviously why he's been passed around. But
he's been a bust.
He has been a bust. What's new?
Yeah.
But, let's just talk a little bit about Broncos here. Got a stat, right? 14.27 points per game for that offense. Lowest scoring Broncos offense in the last 50 years, and you have seen every quarterback that they have had.
And this guy's supposed to be a Hall of Famer, right?
He is.
That's
concerning.
It's
not that he's supposed to be. He is Hall of Famer. Whether we want to,
if he ends his career bad,
if he does
if he continues this, I don't know.
It's,
not first ballot. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but it's pretty rough. Broncos. I know you're fine.
Okay.
He's like, why'd you shut the laptop?
Yeah,
the battery's running out. I gotta preserve it.
You still gotta do by yourself.
I know. So Russ, man,
Russell,
gotta get it.
What
going,
are we doing,
Mr. Unlimited? Come on,
Mr. Unlimited. Yeah, I don't know. You got to be better. I think Nathaniel Hackett should get fired.
He
soon.
should.
I don't
very
know.
soon.
They're probably gonna wait till the end of the season.
Yeah.
Because
Josh Jacobs, only player since at least 1950 with 225 plus rushing yards and 70 plus receiving yards in a single game.
Josh Jacobs
Bonkers.
is him.
For the first time since 1926, there were 3 Thanksgiving games that all finished within one score.
Wow.
We were blessed.
The Giants game shouldn't have finished in one score. That was a fluke touchdown
We had to
at
get
the
a
end.
2-point conversion. The Jags were 0 in 183 games in franchise history when trailing by 7, well, more than 7, I guess, in the final minute of regulation. They are now 1 in 183. Doug Peterson. The players. Did you see what one of the players said?
Are they 4-7 though?
Listen.
I know. It looks good.
I know.
Beating the
listen,
Ravens.
This is the fact. You see that logo right there?
The Jags.
They believe. In Doug Peterson.
They just need to get a
one
better roster.
One of the players said he would die for Doug Peterson.
Yeah.
He would go to war with Doug Peterson.
I thought they would win against the Ravens. I don't think the Ravens are great because they don't have an offense right now.
You believed in them when nobody else did.
Yeah. They just need to give Lamar talent, like we said.
Yeah. And then the last little talking point here, Micah Parsons is the third player to have 12-plus sacks in each of his first 2 seasons.
Yeah,
since
he's
1982. Good. He joins Alden Smith and Reggie White. Kind of upset there that they got Reggie White in a Packers jersey.
He was a Packer.
He did better with the Eagles. Everyone out there, he was an Eagle.
And a Packer.
Okay?
And a Packer.
Eagle.
And the Packers. But what are we doing now?
That's our talking points. Those were our talking points.
Now what do we talk about? Our buy or sell topic?
It's buy or sell.
It's buy or sell.
You know what?
Time. Yeah.
It's buy or sell time.
It's buy or sell. I'm happy.
It's time. We missed it last time.
I wrote these again because Matt needed a break, so I'm like, I got you. Okay, here we go. Aaron Rodgers will retire at the end of the season. Will you buy or sell?
So I think that there's a chance he moves away from the Packers. They want to give Jordan Love the shot, and kind of hit that rebuild button with him. But Rodgers, he wouldn't retire. He would either get traded. I don't know what team could take that contract, or Packers are gonna have to find some way to move off of him. That's for them to do.
Yeah, that was an overreaction for me. I just wanted to see what you said. I'm selling that as well. I think Aaron Rodgers will still be a Green Bay Packer next year. They paid him all that money. He's still going to be there. And Jordan Love might get some starts next year. Depends on how the Packers are doing. But Aaron Rodgers will still be a Packer next season.
Yeah.
Next up, Josh McDaniels has saved his job for next season.
I'm going to buy it. I think that the Packers front office and all of them understand that.
The Packers? You mean
the
Raiders.
Yeah. Josh McDaniels, he is a smart guy. He is, whether people want to admit it or not. that's why when they were underperforming, we were like, McDaniels, what are you doing? Like, you are too good to be doing this bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think they realized they have to get a new offensive coordinator. McDaniels, he's got to give up some of that ego and let somebody else call the plays, or at least, be open to change in this offseason.
Yeah.
But the players, they seem to love him. And I think that they believe in him. I think that he has saved his job. And good for him, because I didn't want to see him get fired after 1 year.
Yeah.
I like Josh McDaniels, but it was just hard to see him underperform as a head coach. Because it's like, you deserve this opportunity.
Yeah. I'm going to buy it as well. I don't know. Josh McDaniels, it looked rough in the beginning of the season.
Well, it does depend how they end the season, too.
Yes,
like,
it
if
does.
they go
the season's not
fall
over
off
yet.
again.
It's only week 12, right?
Yeah, they got 2 in a row. Let's slow down.
Let's calm down. But I want to say this. The Raiders are undefeated since Derek Carr cried in that press conference.
Yeah.
So that shows something right there. But Josh McDaniels, he's looked good the last few weeks.
Leader.
Beating the Seahawks in overtime, that was a good win.
Yeah.
It's a good feel-good win for you. And I think Josh McDaniels has earned the right to coach next year.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here? Okay. Russell Wilson. Will he be traded during next season?
Sal.
You got to let me finish.
No,
you got to let me finish.
No, because that's a dumb one.
No. You got to let me finish saying it, then you say buy or sell. Okay. Sell. I sell it too.
Again.
I sell it too. Sell. But Russell Wilson, you got to play better. You got to be the franchise guy that the Broncos signed you for all that money, and you haven't done that this season. I know it might be a combination of you and Nathaniel Hackett not clicking, but you just got to be better. All right. Next up, Geno Smith and the Seahawks will miss the playoffs. Buy or sell?
Let's see what we got here. I know the Commanders are in there. Giants are in there. I think that the only way that they miss the playoffs is if the Giants hold on. Because I think if there is a team to drop out, it is unfortunately you guys.
Yes.
And that's not a shot on the Giants. It's just look at the roster and the injuries right now.
Yes.
And then you look at the schedule. It doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good. Season starts now.
He could save you guys, but I don't know if he will. And so I think that the Seahawks, again, the only way that they miss the playoffs is if things kind of go as they probably should, which is you guys fall.
Yeah.
It's sad.
So you're buying or selling this?
I'm going to sell it.
Okay.
I think that
you think they'll make the playoffs?
I think they can.
So you think the Giants would be the team that leaves the playoff picture?
I think it's going to happen. And it's unfortunate because as much as I hate you guys, like, listen, you're my roommate, bro. I don't want to see you sad.
What do I say for this? Now, if I say sell, then I think the Giants are going to miss the playoffs. But at the same time, the Commanders could suck again. You never know.
You never know. Just give your honest opinion.
All right. I say I'm going to sell it too. I think the Seahawks are a good team. They've shown it. The last few weeks has been good for them, but I still do think they make the playoffs. But who's going to be the odd team out? I don't know. It could be the Giants. Their schedule's not looking pretty.
And then just to say with the Seahawks, they haven't played bad the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
Their defense needs to pull it together.
Yes.
They continue to allow so many points.
I'm concerned for the Giants. They got to win this week. I think it's a must-win game. It's a divisional game. But if they start losing, the Seahawks could overtake their spot. But let's move on now.
Yeah.
Jimmy G will be on the 49ers next season, buy or sell. Now, it all depends on this playoff run. Right? Say they're a first-round exit. I don't know.
I'm going to sell it regardless.
Okay.
Even if they I would argue even if they win the Super Bowl.
No.
No. So
keep him.
The way I look at it is Trey Lance is their future quarterback. He is their franchise guy going forward. He is too talented. People were like, but he didn't start off well. Bro, he's a rookie. Like,
he's a rookie.
Like, he's kind of have that Jalen Hurts thing. Like, he sat for a year, and that's just how things go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think Jimmy G is a good quarterback. It's just one of those where I don't look at him as, like, I'm scared going into a game going up against Jimmy G. He runs that offense well, but, like, for teams like the Saints and all them, could you pick up Jimmy G? Yeah. But is it really what you want for your future? Like, you want to get your franchise quarterback.
He's a winning quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're selling it.
Yeah, I think a good... If I'm the Jets, I get Jimmy G. Let Zach Wilson play again. But if Zach starts struggling, you put Jimmy G in.
What if Mike White's good, though?
I think Jimmy G's better. What?
But if, say, Mike White, starts the rest of the season,
And
wins
what?
a playoff game, I don't think you need Jimmy G.
I'd still take Jimmy G.
Okay.
Because I don't believe in Mike White like that. I'm sorry.
Will Jimmy G be on the 49ers next season? I'm buying it. I think Jimmy G has earned the right to stay on the Niners roster.
I just saw the next one. Delete that.
But I think Jimmy G he's earned the right to be on the Niners next season. They're winning games, and I like what he's been doing for them. So, next up, Zach Wilson gets traded this offseason. Buy or sell?
Sell.
Why not?
You do not trade your second overall pick after a struggling season. His rookie year, okay, you understand it. He has rookie quarterback struggles. His second year, you want to see some improvement for sure. But even if you don't see it, you know what? Even Trevor Lawrence has struggled. Now, he's had some good games, but he was the first overall pick. He didn't look good his rookie year. He hasn't really looked too good this year either, other than a handful of games.
Okay.
It looks like every quarterback in that draft except Justin Fields. No, even Justin Fields. He just started being good.
Yeah.
So everyone was struggling in that draft class. I don't think you could just drop off of all of them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Wilson got potential. People try to say that bro got drafted because he ran to his non-throwing side and then threw it 60 yards down the field. There was that clip or whatever. But he got drafted because he has potential. And they're not going to just move off of him. He's still too good.
All right, how about this? I'll change it up for you. Will Zach Wilson get a second contract with the Jets?
Too early to tell.
I'm asking the question. You got to answer it.
I'm not answering that. It's too early to tell.
I don't think he does. So I am going to buy that. I think Zach Wilson does get traded this offseason. They don't like him, and he's been a lot.
Who wants him?
A team that needs a quarterback.
Every team this offseason is getting a quarterback. I'm going to show you the mock draft.
The Saints, they don't have a first-round
They're
pick.
not going with him now.
The Saints don't have a first-round pick?
They'd rather go for Jimmy G or something.
Okay, I'd rather have a young quarterback.
Next one.
All right. You're not going to like this one.
Sell.
All right.
No.
So,
this is a stupid question.
Despite the best record in the NFL, the Eagles will not make the Super Bowl. Buy or
I know
sell?
teachers say there's never a stupid question. This is a stupid question.
It's not a stupid question.
Eagles will not make the Super Bowl despite the best record? I don't know where to sit with that. There's two teams that scare me.
What teams scare you right now?
The 49ers and the Cowboys.
Okay, and then
because the Cowboys' defense is so good, and their offense is good enough to still win games. And with how Jonathan Gannon hasn't made adjustments well, listen, Cooper Rush, he was undefeated up going to the Eagles, and the Eagles were undefeated at the time. Should he have won the game? No. He played fine though. He had some bad interceptions,
but we all can agree.
I didn't get to
Dak
see
Prescott is better than him.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the Cowboys I wanted to see.
Well, yeah.
To try to see where we rank up with them.
And that game was close in the second.
And then obviously the first one, do I really have to say it, dude? The one that hasn't allowed second half points since week 8. That one scares me.
Okay.
And I mentioned that. I said that the 49ers are the team that scares me the most.
Now, do you think the Vikings, they've gotten better? I know they got shellacked by the Cowboys.
They've gotten better, but I do think that we're one of those few teams that just tend to have their number. And it's kind of unfortunate for them.
Yeah.
But, we've seen that over the years. It's just, how there's, that team that's just not your division, but whenever you play them, you're like, they always get us. That's us and the Vikings. And it's unfortunate for them because, obviously, they want to be able to go far, but... Yeah.
So, do you buy or sell?
I'm going to sell it. I do think that there's a good chance we make the Super Bowl. I think we have the best roster in the NFL.
Okay.
Do they perform it like it at times? No. But I think overall talent is going to show itself in the playoffs. Robert Quinn hasn't even played much, but he kind of has that when you go to the playoffs, he's going to be fresh legs.
Yep.
And it's going to be a difference maker.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jordan Davis, Tomlinson, Cox, Hargrave, everyone.
Yeah.
It's insane how that rotation will be. Everyone will be fresh. People are going to be scared of us.
Okay.
And it's just,
I am going to buy this hot take I have.
I know. You'd probably think the 49ers will make it there.
I think the Niners, their defense is scary. as you said, they've held how many teams?
I will say that their
0
division has
points?
been dog water this season, other than the Seahawks.
Well,
and then
yeah.
they've also had, again, easy schedule. Everyone in the NFC has had an easy schedule because there's only like 4 good teams.
Well, yeah.
But, yeah, I think for the 49ers, we haven't seen them play like a top-tier contender just yet.
Yeah, and they've had some players hurt too. Like, their secondary has not been great.
Yeah, Jason Verrett went down again. Unfortunately, he's so talented. Emmanuel Mosley, I believe he's still out for the season. Travarius Ward, he's played good. I believe they have a rookie, Ambry Thomas, or a second-year player, Ambry Thomas. He's played fine. I don't know the other one.
And I think, the Cowboys, you have to look out for them. They've been playing really great as of late, especially in the second half of games. They have been looking unstoppable. Micah Parsons has been a force to reckon with.
Yeah.
So I think those, like you said, those are the 2 teams you have to look out for. And I think right now, I know the Eagles have the best record, but I don't think they'll make the Super Bowl because of those 2 teams. Let's move on to the next one. Jeff Saturday will not be the head coach for the Colts next season. Buy or sell?
I mean, that's another rough one. Because the players, again, they like him. They play for him. The question really just comes down to, is he a good coach?
Is there better candidates out there?
Is there better candidates out there? There probably is.
There probably is.
So I'm going to probably buy that. I don't know. It's going to be a little feel-good story, but I think it was just try to help spark the team and also maybe just, spark a little coaching career for Jeff Saturday.
Yeah, so.
No one says that just because he can't do it now doesn't mean he can't do it in the future. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did beat the Raiders. I know the Raiders weren't that good his first game, but then he's lost the past 2. He was close to beating the Eagles. Say they win against the Eagles, right? I think we'd be talking different, right? So I think he still has an opportunity to be the head coach next season for the Colts. It depends how he finishes. So I'm going to sell it. I think he will be the Colts head coach next season. Next up, Deshaun Watson wins out when he returns and is still a top 10 quarterback. Buy or sell? How about this? You could buy one part of the sentence and sell the other part. I don't think.
I'm going to buy the entire thing.
Really? Well, I got to see their schedule, though.
That's what I was thinking. But you know what? I think regardless, I'm buying it. Let's just go over real quick.
I don't think
Browns, they got the Texans, then the Bengals, Ravens, Saints, Commanders, Steelers.
Okay, that is very easy. I think that's a very possible schedule to win out.
Listen, yeah, Watson, he is still a top 10 quarterback in my opinion. I think people are very easily forgetting about him. He was, before Lamar, he was the run quarterback. He was the guy that was beginning to change this type of game.
Yeah.
You had guys like Vic and all that obviously changed it. But Deshaun was one of the main guys in changing the entire quarterback position to being more run happy.
Yes.
So, I think that Deshaun will win out when he returns. And I think that would obviously mean that he will be a top 10 quarterback. Browns, their roster is still very good. People tend to think that they still need to get some pieces. They need to get another receiver in the draft, but other than that, they're good to go.
Yeah.
And they're going to be a top team in the AFC next year.
Okay. For me, I'm going to sell the first part of the sentence. I think he does not win out.
The Bengals, Ravens,
yeah,
Commanders,
I think he lose some of those games. But I do agree he will finish out as a top 10 quarterback when he does return. I think he's still a great talent. And he just hasn't played in 2 years, so I think he's going to be a little rusty to start things off, but still think he's a top 10 quarterback. Now, will OBJ be a Dallas Cowboy with the OBJ free agency tour happening this week?
I'm going to
Will he be a Dallas Cowboy?
Sell it. I think that there is part of him that also doesn't like the Cowboys. I feel like when you play for the Giants, the Eagles, the Commanders, you don't like the Cowboys. You learn to hate them. You're not going to play for them. I think that the best thing for him is to go play for the Bills.
But I'm pretty sure his dad was a Dallas fan. I'm pretty sure his dad has family that lives in Dallas, Texas. So
I'm pretty sure that OBJ doesn't give a crap.
So I think there might be a little leeway there on signing with the Cowboys. But I'm going to sell this, and I think OBJ signs with the Buffalo Bills.
That's what I think as well.
I don't think It will be a good story if he comes
I look
back.
at it, right?
Returns to the Giants.
If you go to the Cowboys, yeah, okay, you play with Dak, UFC Lamb next to you. You go to the Bills, you got Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Stephon will get you open just for being alive.
And you kind of have a home near New York, so it won't be that far of a travel. Texas is a different thing, but you got some family there. But if you return with the Giants, you already know the place, you already know the organization. So I still think he signs with the Bills, not the Cowboys. But I think that's it for today.
That is it for today. So if you guys liked the video, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out our TikTok. We've popped off.
We have popped off 2 million views on the
2.1.
Odell. 2.1
and
million views.
Then our Broncos one has 185K.
We got some new followers from it. We were also shouted out on House of Highlights and SportsCenter as well. So appreciate you guys.
We can now be as seen on SportsCenter and House of Highlights.
So that's amazing. Can't thank you guys enough.
Yeah.
But that's all I have for you guys today.
Yeah,
Anything
follow
else?
us on social media. Help us get discovered. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
BenchWire out.